Emily Guzman, and I am a United States citizen. My husband, Pedro Guzman, has been detained by immigration at Stewart Detention Center for more than a year. As many of you know, most detainees either give up their fight or do not fight at all. They do not give up because they are guilty and believe they deserve to leave the country. Most give up because of the conditions in which they are detained and the lack of due process within the immigration system. Pedro is my best friend, my husband, and my soulmate. Over the more than 10 years we have been together, he has been a wonderful man, husband, and since our son Logan was born, an amazing father. You would think that being detained, he would just pass the time sitting in a cell, depressed and trying to just pass the time. In the time he has been detained by immigration, he has astonished me. At Stewart Detention Center in Lumpkin, the detainees call him El Abogado, the lawyer, and the guards call him the congressman. The reason for these nicknames is that he is a mediator, a translator, a negotiator, a peacemaker, and the calm in the middle of the storm. Pedro has mediated discussions with the guards an enormous amount of time so that the detainees won't lose it and get into trouble. He communicates messages through me to calm the worries of the distraught families of the detainees. Together we work to show them how to manage the very complex phone and money system in the detention center. He translates for the detainees daily so that they can communicate their needs. He even tries to cheer up the guards when he notices they are down. But most of all, he speaks up when he sees something is not right. Pedro is an honorable, kind, and strong leader. He does not deserve to be behind bars. In the last year, Pedro has had numerous hearings that were postponed for various reasons. ICE attorneys not having Pedro's file, the judge requesting documents or information that was already contained in their possession, or sometimes with no rational or explained reason. Through the appeals process, Pedro was recommended a bond by the Board of Immigration Appeals, but then the original judge denied him bond again. That is not an appeals process. That is not justice. The conditions at Stewart are horrible. Pedro has not been able to eat the food and sustains himself on ramen noodles that I send him money to buy. It is extremely difficult and expensive to communicate with family members. The detainees are treated as if they are hardened criminals, and fighting your case is made next to impossible. There is no privacy, and the majority of the toilets are always broken. Some changes were made in June, like new pillows and a game room, but this does not take any of the pain away that my family feels. The pain will not be taken away until Pedro is returned to our family. Our son Logan continues to struggle with why his father has been taken from him for so long. Just last week he said, "Mommy, when I grow up, I want to make the world safe." How, I asked him. "When I get big, I am going to be Superman." For Logan, this is not your average 4-year-old cartoon world desire. It is an honest belief that the world is not safe because he has experienced a world where his father was taken away in handcuffs in front of him and kept from him with no good reason. Logan believes that because no one else is making the world safe, he has to grow up quickly and save the world himself. The most incomprehensible part of this whole fiasco is why Pedro and many other immigrants in similar situations have to be detained at all. The detainees that are in immigration detention have either served their time for the crime they committed, violated a minor law like lack of driver's license, or have never committed a crime at all. In Pedro's case, he came to the United States with his mother when he was 8 years old. missing the presence of his own father and being raised by a hardworking single mother. As a teenager, he fell into the wrong crowd. During that time, he was charged twice with a very small amount of marijuana, and one of those charges has since been dismissed. He served no criminal time for either charges, and yet has spent more than an entire year in immigration detention. This is unjust and unfair. Corrections Corporation of America is taking advantage of two vulnerable populations in this area: the immigrant population and the low-income rural African-American population. They know that they are one of the largest corporations employing in this rural area. They can pay their employees less and employ detained immigrants to cook and clean for this enormous immigration detention center for $1 to $3 per day. That is not fair for the community members who need employment in this area either. And it is not fair to the immigrants brought here by force. My husband currently cleans and buffs the floors for $2 per day. Our nightly phone calls keep each other sane, and they cost sometimes astronomically more than $2. If we use the Evercom system that is encouraged, it is $13 per 20-minute phone call. These corporations are taking advantage of people in desperate situations. All three of our lives have been changed forever, emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. We will never get this year of our lives back. Therapy, protests, support, even Pedro's freedom will not give us this year back. However, when Pedro is released, we can actually try to start healing our wounds. His release from Immigration Detention Center would return a small amount of my faith in the United States. We have shared our story far and wide, and so many people have been shocked and disgusted by the injustice of Pedro's case. It has planted the seed of doubt in the American justice system. All of us feel less secure and less safe here. We have lost confidence. If our campaign to release Pedro succeeds and is granted his freedom here in the United States, our family, our friends, our community, and the thousands of people that our story has touched can begin to heal. We can begin to regain confidence and trust that when we object to injustice, the American government listens and remedies the injustice and allows us to trust. That allows us to trust that here in the United States we are safe, secure, respected, and loved. Thank you.